Gareth Evans is joining us. First of all, The Raid Redemption, Redemption, is in theaters March 23rd here, and I gotta tell you, we'll get to it, but it is the best action movie I've seen since Ong Bak.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's that good. So what I want to ask you, though, is we were just discussing, have you seen a film, since you are from the UK and it's a UK film, called Inseminoid?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
All right, it's a 1981 alien movie.
We called it 70s. It might as well be.
It was 81, yeah. And, who's the producer that put in money to it, too? It was a martial arts producer,
Runshaw.
Seriously?
Yeah, swear to God.
Why have I not heard of this?
I know. Yeah. So, okay. It's this movie about these people that are working on a colony in like, space, and they're randomly going crazy, and there's this alien, like, they're disemboweling them. And,
yeah, but there's a woman that gets impregnated by an alien, and
inseminated.
She has super strength.
By an inseminoid, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, she gets super strength because she's been
inseminated by an alien life form in a mining colony.
And there's like a 5-minute birth scene where there's literally 2 aliens that are coming out of her area, and you see like alien arms like pushing their way out. It's really graphic.
And the actress is running around tearing up cheap sets that are made of like scaffolding for construction workers. And she's the least creepy, scary-looking actress you can imagine. And there's just endless scenes of her screaming, and then she gives birth to alien babies, and
it's Norman J. Warren. It's a Norman J. Warren film, yeah.
Wow.
And the Shaw Brothers put in a good amount. Half of the money was the Shaw Brothers.
From the Shaw Brothers?
Yeah.
And there's no martial arts in it, though?
No,
none.
Well,
so the aliens don't fight each other after they come out, right?
No.
You'd think he could have choreographed some
there
fight
were
scenes.
Some fight scenes.
They could have brought in, what's his name?
They're ridiculous, the fight scenes in that movie.
Yeah, right.
Like, we thought they were in slow-mo.
Yeah.
They're not in slow-mo. These women are just fighting very slowly. It's pretty great.
But it was like slowly to show you that they're strong.
Yeah.
Like in old movies when they have giants, they have them slower. Like, that's supposed to make you think that they're really big because they move so slow because they're big.
So if you're into like really bad genre films, Gareth, I will recommend Inseminoid.
If I had a Wi-Fi connection, I'd be buying it now.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: it's in space nudies, but there's barely any nudity in it too. It did not deliver.
Have you ever been to Cinephile on Santa Monica Boulevard?
No, I haven't.
Tarantino goes there. Paul Thomas Anderson.
Okay.
Lots
it's a great
of people
place.
go there.
Right.
It's a great video store. They got very rare stuff there.
Like Inseminoid?
Yeah, Inseminoid, and they have a section called Space Nudies. So it's for anything inquiring nudity in space.
Okay, all right, that's pretty cool.
And that's not the most.
And by the way, there's only
section.
like one nude scene in the movie.
I know.
I don't know if it's technically a space nudie.
Yeah.
Is that the birth scene, or is there another scene on
No,
top?
it's
when
the
she gets
insemination.
inseminated.
Yeah.
Oh, the insemination. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a full-on graphic alien rape scene.
Yeah, but you can't even. But like the one scene where there's nakedness and you can't even. It's like such a shrill scene. You can't even.
I know.
It was made to please no one.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. So yes, Gareth, I recommend Inseminoid.
Okay.
Another movie I'm going to recommend.
I bet you've never had an interview that started this way.
Well, I wanted to talk about, of course, The Raid Redemption, which we saw. 2 weeks ago we saw it?
Yes.
All right. I had my producer, my booking guy, Pat Tobias, hunt you down when I saw the trailer for this movie. I knew I wanted to interview you at that moment. I go, Pat, The Raid, get me this guy now.
Wow.
Like that. And then we go see the movie. I'm like, all right, wait, this better not suck, because I had Pat go get me Gareth to do the show.
That's always a risk when we go to a screening. Like, what do we say if we don't like it?
You're the first person
Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Well, you're the first person I've asked for pre-seeing a movie. So I was very confident in it from the trailer, which is cut really well. Do you know who cut it?
Which trailer did you see? Sorry, the red band or the green band?
Yeah, the red band one.
Oh, I cut the red band one then.
Well, congratulate yourself
Thank
then.
you.
Okay. So I was going to say, let's give someone props. He's giving himself props. Okay, so I see this film. I got to tell you, all right, this is wild to me. It's an Indonesian film, am I right? Is it Indonesian?
Yes.
It's Hindu? It's Hindu?
Indonesian.
Hindu.
The entire film is Indonesian. The only thing
and you're the
slightly-
white guy.
I'm the white guy. I'm the white guy who went over there, and the only other white person is my DOP then, Matt.
How does this work? How do you work with these guys when you're the white guy and you're working with these guys? Let me tell you.
What's it like to be white?
Yeah. No, I mean, kind of, yeah. In this situation, it's a language barrier. It's a culture barrier.
I'm really lucky because like the crew that I have, they come from more of like TV commercials background.
Yeah.
So they've worked with a lot of people from like different countries, and so like it's not always in Indonesian for them. So they've kind of had to adjust to a lot of different directors from a lot of different backgrounds. So yeah.
Oh, and let me tell you what else I loved about it was I loved the action in the movie because it's not just straight up martial arts.
Yeah.
There's knife fighting, there's gun fighting, there's like pro wrestling going on in some of it. Like there is just some amazing fight scenes in this movie. How did you? Is it just a natural instinct of you to have all these different fighting styles in the film, or did you decide you wanted that, or?
It was one of those things when we were designing it. I kind of like when it came to designing the fight choreography, we wanted everything to feel like it was as close to being realistic as possible. Like when you're doing a fight scene which lasts for 5 minutes, obviously it's going to be exaggerated, and no one can take that kind of physical punishment. But the idea was to kind of make sure that all the movements felt like they were grounded in reality. So we mixed up, complex choreography with these really rough takedowns and these really rough throws where you feel like they haven't got quite a good grip on the person. They're just kind of hurling them into walls and hurling them into like wardrobes and shit like that.
Right. Well, what you had though was it's grounded in reality, but it's still amazing because you see things in it that don't happen in other movies where a guy gets his head slammed into a tile wall not once but 5 times going down.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a movie before.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
There's a lot of scenes, and that's not like we didn't just spoil like the big one. There's a lot of great,
but there was
violent action scenes in this movie.
Would you have you seen? You've of course done a bit of research, and you'd seen, or you were a fan growing up of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, all throughout my childhood, I was like a huge fan of like Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, and it was the 80s and the early 90s with the sort of golden age of Hong Kong cinema. The choreography was crisp, clean, and aggressive, and the way they shot it was cool. And I felt like sometime in the sort of mid to late 90s, it started to change a bit too much then. Like it became too flashy with the editing, and you kind of lost that sense of seeing what what the person was capable of achieving physically.
Well, they don't have actual fighters doing it. I mean, their cameras are shot to hide some big star who's not doing the move.
So now that being said, though, you're talking about in the mid 90s. Now, of course, that's when John Woo's films got insanely popular. Now, do you think John Woo changed the whole style in the Asian culture with his filmmaking?
Well, I think, if we go back that far, A Better Tomorrow was like 86 or something.
Yeah.
And Hard Boiled was at 92.
92, 93,
so it was for me, my interest shifted more towards that sort of heroic bloodshed era.
Yeah.
Around about when I was 13, 14. And I started to take more of an interest in what John Woo was doing, but then also branching out. I got more interested in Japanese cinema then. So seeing Violent Cop for the first time, the Takeshi Kitano film.
Takeshi Kitano,
yeah. Those. It was like a different style of cinema then, and I kind of drifted away from martial arts for a while then.
Yeah.
But when On Back came out, that was the moment when it was just like, oh, this is gonna get good again, and then it was a game changer of a film, On Back.
It was. That did giant, sales of DVDs and all that.
Yeah.
And that's another movie that was like I kept seeing it everywhere.
Yeah. And I gotta tell you, this is the best action film I've seen in years, even including American film, whatever. This is the best action film I've seen in years.
Well,
thank you so much.
Here's the thing,
it's nonstop.
I see a lot of stuff, and a lot of the best foreign films are making the best action. There was something last year I really liked, which kind of the raid reminded me of, called Point Blank, which is a French thriller.
Really good.
Yeah, it's so
French
good.
thriller.
And it's kind of a Hitchcock type of The Fugitive type of story. But that's similar in that it's just one breathless, not overlong sequence, not in one take or anything, but it's just, kind of like that, and it's just the construction of it.
You should check out another French film called Sleepless Night. That's really good.
Okay.
It's really strong.
French
thriller again.
Okay, we want to also know how you got into working in Indonesia, being the guy from, the UK.
Yeah.
Okay, but before that, tell me just about your background, how you started. Like, give us a whole background of the Gareth Evans film, the film biography.
Okay. So I was born, and then, basically when I was a kid, me and my friends, like I was saying earlier, we were all obsessed with Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, and one of those obsessions carried itself over into the idea of, like, me and my friends would always pretend like we were going to do remakes of these films.
Oh, yeah.
So we'd always jump out in the back garden, and we'd be wearing white vests and plimsolls and kung fu pants, and pretend like we were doing The Fist of Fury or Police Story or Armor of God, but in my back garden. And thankfully, none of us had video cameras, so there's no footage existing of any of this stuff. Thank God. But that was kind of like that was the sort of early seeds of wanting to do something with film. And once I realized that there was no chance that I was ever going to be a skilled actor or a skilled fighter, I thought, okay, I'll go back and I'll do something with writing instead and directing. I kind of tried in the UK, but I didn't do enough to get myself noticed. I did a small independent film called Footsteps that did a little bit okay, but not enough to kind of set my name alive. Tell me about Footsteps. Did it have what kind of budget are we talking? What kind of film? Footsteps was about like £8,000, wow. And £2,500 of that went on to buy the camera that we used to make the film. So I was working full time. I'd finished doing like various courses in university about media technology and script writing for film. And then I kind of just got into this mode of just doing my 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. And I realized I'd lost about 3 years of doing that, and I hadn't done anything with film. And so me and my DOP, Matt, then we kind of got together and said, look, let's just shoot something. Let's make a feature film. Let's just do it. Yeah. And so we took a bank loan out to pay for that first film, and that was the first one. And so only in the UK can you get a bank loan to make a film. Well, it was a personal loan. Not here anymore. Okay. Oh, it was a personal one? Yeah, they had no idea we were making the film with it. It was just like, I want to buy something. Yeah, they think you're getting a house, like a car or something. We're gonna get some land. Yeah. So tell me about Footsteps. So basically Footsteps was kind of like this. It was like a big learning curve for us, and it was about this young guy that's sort of disenfranchised with his life. And he starts to isolate himself, and he ends up in this position where he starts to work for a group of guys that make snuff films. So it's very happy, pleasant story. And basically, it was kind of like, it was a very sort of. How'd you come up with that idea? You guys just sitting around bullshitting or what? Hey, I got it. How many drinks are in you when snuff films comes up? It was a weird one, because the thing is, like, what we wanted to do with it as well was to kind of present the idea of like the snuff film, but in a way different from how it was usually presented in films. Yeah. So, like, instead of it being, all goth influenced and dark, grungy metal music, we had it that they make them inside an office block in like an industrial estate. Wow. And that you have an accountant that balances the books and stuff like that. So it was kind of very sort of like almost sort of kind of cute, slightly social realist British style of making a film. And and it was a good learning curve, and it was one of those things that kind of led me to think, I want to be a filmmaker. Being out there at like Wednesday at 11 a.m. shooting a scene on the streets in Cardiff was just totally different from being in the office making a cup of tea. Now, did Footsteps get distribution? We got DVD distribution in US through Unearthed Films. Oh, so I'm going to have to find it at the Cinephile. There you go. There we go on that. And so that was my first attempt at anything. And then after that, like, again, I didn't push it enough. I didn't try enough in UK. And my wife ended up, she's Indonesian Japanese. Oh. So she put in a few calls back in Indonesia and got me a directing gig on a documentary. And then that documentary was about Silat, the martial art that we use in Merantu and the Raid then. And that was the big turning point then for everyone. Wow. Now talk about a little bit about that martial art style. Okay, so I grew up watching things with like Kung Fu and Muay Thai and Aikido and everything, but I'd never seen Silat before. And so doing that documentary was the first time I got to learn about like what it was, and I got so excited because I'm a huge film fan of these types of movies, and I wanted to show my friends, you got to see Silat, it kicks ass. It's really cool. Silat. And so I looked around and found a few films, but they were all sort of from the late 70s, early 80s period. And the downside is that like they're cool cult items, cool cult films, but when it comes to the actual choreography, they lack the same complexity that we'd have on like a Hong Kong production from the 80s. Right. So they don't kind of have that same technical quality like you get from Drunken Master or from Armor of God. Right. Yeah. So or any Yuen Wo Ping production. Yeah, exactly. Yuen Wo Ping is the choreographer who worked for, I guess, like 30, 40 years in the business, and he also did like Kung Fu Hustle and The Matrix and Kill Bill. Yeah, he's incredible. Yeah. But yeah.
So tell me then about, okay, you did the documentary. Does that lead you to the raid then? How does that lead you to the raid?
Okay, so actually it led me to a different film first. We did a film called Merantu, which was our first movie that we did in Indonesia.
Is that a feature or a short?
Feature.
It's a feature?
Yeah. And that was Iko's first film as well, the lead actor from the raid.
Iko Weiss?
Iko Weiss.
Weiss,
yeah.
So the U's silent. It's
yeah, there's a little hint of the U there, yeah.
Weiss. Okay,
yeah.
Good enough.
Okay, that's close. That's close enough. It's closer than a lot of people have come.
Good.
But yeah, so with Iko, we met him on the documentary. He was just like a delivery guy for a phone company.
Wow.
But on the weekends, he beat the crap out of people. So,
that's fantastic.
So we kind of got in touch with him, and like we saw him. Like we were filming his master for the documentary, and I was like, this guy's got like a screen presence about him. He had like like such a cool way of delivering Silat, and so. I said to my wife, look, we got to keep in touch with this guy. We got to get him on board to do our next thing. And so then we geared up Merantu and the raid to be films that would launch him as like the next Southeast Asian action star.
You did.
And so fingers crossed after the raid, he'll be a household name now.
How's the raid done overseas? Because I know it's been released already.
Oh, no, we haven't released yet. No.
Oh, no?
Usually the United States is the last.
So you've just done the film festivals and everything?
All we've done is film festivals, just to kind of...
How's the response been?
Really good. I mean, like we did 2 local festivals in Indonesia just to sort of test the waters and see what the response would be like. And like we sold out in like 20 minutes.
Oh, wow!
Like, and people were queuing up from like 8 a.m. just to get tickets for it. So hopefully that translates well when we release.
So how do you get involved with the raid, the project itself? How does that get started?
Well, I mean, like the company Merantu Films that I work for. Like, my wife is the boss of the company, so she's the one with the purse strings. I'm the one that comes up with the creative side of it. And after Merantu was finished, we tried to get a different project up and running first. It was called Brandel. And I couldn't get the budget for it. Tried for a year and a half, and it felt like it was too long a time without me doing anything, without Iko doing anything. So the raid was actually our plan B. It was our backup project. And so, yeah, it was one of those things where I was just, we need to do something lower budget. I can bring in this film for like $1 million.
Wow.
And we shoot it all in one location. And then that kind of informed everything then.
Where do you get the money to do $1 million shoot?
It was a combination
with an unproven action star.
Well,
tell us literally where.
Where I'm calling the guy.
So basically what you do is you get a very fast car and you go to 6 different banks in 6 times a day. Anyway, so we found an investor that was like, there was a situation with finance and films in Indonesia. A lot of it's down to private investors.
Yeah.
And what happened, for the first time we tried to get that other movie made with a higher budget, everyone kind of turned us down because they were willing to invest X amount in it, but only if it was worth 50% of the budget.
Right.
But it was only worth 20% of that film. So when it came to the raid, then it became, now it is 50% of the budget. So we were going to go back to a bunch of other people, but we met someone new. And he ended up, we had one meeting in one afternoon, and after a year and a half of being told no by all these different people, that one meeting in the afternoon, the guy said, yeah, okay, let's do it. And then it was like such a relief then to be able to say, okay, we can finally make this new film now.
That's wild. You were working on this for a year. You were trying to get money for this for a year and a half?
For the other movie, which has now become, Brandel, which is now becoming the sequel to The Raid.
Oh, that's the sequel.
Yeah.
So The Raid Redemption's like the prequel.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, that's kind of wild.
So it's cool. So we're going to do the sequel next, and we're going to because of the success of the film in terms of how it's played in festivals, we can get the budget up now for that sequel.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
I got to tell you, do you need to get the budget up? I'm watching this movie. You said it's $1 million. It looks like 50.
It seems like you.
I'm not kidding.
It seems like you weren't hampered by $1 million budget at all.
No,
it seems like you did just fine.
No, it looks like a American action, like a full-on big studio film. I'm sure that's what Sony Classics loves about it.
It was really tough. I mean, we had to do a lot of little tricks to kind of like cut back on the spending.
Yeah.
Like we built a lot of sets because we couldn't find a building that had the corridors and the atrium and the rooms that we needed for the film. So once we were finished shooting in the corridors, that wood was reused to build the atrium. So we were an eco-friendly shoot. We recycled everything we had.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that because I imagine that freed you as filmmakers because on a set you build, you can move your camera better around. Because you had a lot of shots that go around things, over things, tilt, and things like that.
Yeah.
And when you have that kind of freedom, I mean, sure, a big production that Tom Cruise is climbing the building, that's thrilling, but you can move the camera and really do a lot with a space that you build.
Yeah. And I mean, we had to find little tricks and techniques in order to kind of get that camera moving the way that we did. Because we wanted it to feel like that camera was sort of, going in there with the SWAT team. We kind of took like a semi-documentary style approach to the shooting of it. So if we were doing like a choreography, and for the choreography, we wanted to make sure that the camera was always back wide enough so we could see detail on it. So that whenever we were shooting those fight scenes, like you had a sense of clarity and you had a sense of like spatial awareness of where you were in the scene.
Uh-huh.
So when we had the camera come from behind into a wide profile, if it was a 2-meter wide corridor, we'd always cheat and reposition the choreography so it would be near a doorway. So that as we're coming around, the art department could open the door so the camera could take a step inside and get that little extra space then.
There's also some really good performances in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just all action without any depth. There are some good performances. The captain.
Yeah.
First of all, everyone's actually really good in this. I'm thinking about it. First of all, the boss in the movie.
Yeah, I love the boss.
What's his name?
Ray Satapi. The guy
you're going to have to tell
yeah.
me with all the names.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's so much fun to play that role as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoiler alert, but his two goons,
Henchmen,
if you will, his henchmen, they're great.
Yeah.
The police captain and the police lieutenant are great.
Yeah.
Like all around, just some great performances too.
Yeah, we lucked out a lot on that.
Yeah, I mean, tell me about.
Actually, the guy with the machete and the big eyes.
Yes.
Okay. He's never acted before in his life either.
He looks like you found him off the street.
He's an architect.
Oh, really?
I swear to
Okay,
God.
I was going to say homeless, but you're saying architect.
Yeah.
I'll go architect.
So he was beating the crap out of people in
He
the
looked
week.
insane.
And then once he finished the shoot, he went off and built a building. So, yeah.
So you're telling me this architect, this mild-mannered architect, who looks like he looks like you guys shot him up with heroin or PCP, and he's swinging a machete around this building.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And then the next day he's working on his blueprints. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a really great scene, too.
He's great.
He's scary.
Yeah.
Like, he's the scariest looking guy in the movie, almost.
And here's the thing. He is the nicest guy. He's so nice.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
of course,
like, during the shoot, sometimes he just creep you out because, like, his eyes, they like that all the time. But he has this smile. So he has, like, a frozen smile. And you're like, when you see him, you're like, hi, Godfred, how you doing? And he just looks at you with this creepy smile and these, like, big eyes that, they pierce through you, And, but yeah, he's the nicest guy in the world.
Tell me about who plays the lieutenant, the guy that is leading the group at the beginning.
The one who fights Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good. He's
very good.
really,
He's great.
really good.
His name is Joe Taslim, and he plays a character called Jacka in the film. And the way he actually got cast for this movie was he contacted me on Facebook. So
really?
Because he really liked Merantu, our first film, and he got in touch on Facebook, and he was like, I really want to be involved in whatever you're doing next. And I was just, starting to kind of think about casting for the raid. And I looked at his profile photos, and there was one where he'd done like a fashion shoot where he had to dress up like a Marine, and he had like this sort of SWAT team gear on. And I was like, oh, okay, well, he kind of fits the bill. And he was a national judo champion for Indonesia. And he'd done a couple of movies before, so we called him in and got him to do like 2 auditions. We did one, which was like a drama audition, where he'd come in and just do a bit of reading for us. And then the next time, we brought him in for a fight audition, where he has to kind of go against Iko and Yayan in our choreography practice area then, and see how he handled himself.
Yeah. He's great.
Yeah, he's really good.
He brought it, man. Yeah. It was really, really good.
And he was such a nice guy on the shoot as well. That it's reached a point now where I'm like I almost gave a spoiler away then.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to working with him again.
I was going to say, and I'm looking forward to finding out how.
I love all these Indonesian nationals and these guys who are judo experts and can kill you with one hand, but they're the sweetest.
They're Facebook users.
Kindest, nicest, gentlest human
They like
beings.
your statuses.
I know.
Yeah,
right.
They retweet you at any given moment as well.
I love it. You know what? Why am I trying to make film in Los Angeles? I'm going to fly back in your suitcase. We're going to Indonesia. I'll go make Indonesian film.
Right.
I don't know if they're big into big comedies, but
yeah. Let's see if we could get Twitter followers to be in the movie.
Yeah, right.
Do more with less.
Okay, so tell me then how Sony gets involved with this picture. Is this after the film festival process? Or?
No, it was way before that. And
wow.
We were still shooting the film, and I think I was shooting the scene where like the boss is introduced when he's shooting the 5 guys. He's doing the execution scene. And then what happened was I was filming at the time, and we'd sent some footage across to the Cannes film market with our sales agent, and then they took it there, and then I think Scott Schumann, who was working for Sony at the time, he saw it and kind of had a response to it, and all of a sudden I was getting a phone call while I was on set then saying, "Oh, Sony want to pick it up." And suddenly I'm in this headspace then where I've got a month left of my shoot, and now all of a sudden I'm trying to shut off that part of my brain which tells me, "Oh, this is a studio film now." And you're trying to kind of like just not second guess everything and just, you know, continue to follow like whatever gut instinct we'd ran with for the first 2 months of that shoot.
Oh, wow, that's good. They've really gotten behind it. I mean, I mean, when we went to Sony Lot to watch this, and one of the guys that was doing the publicity for it, he was so into it.
I know.
That's sweet.
The guy was so into it.
And he looks like he's your neighbor.
Yeah.
Like your Mr. Wilson type. Like yells at the cars for going down the side streets too fast because there are children playing.
We had such a great time at that screening.
Right.
I
he
was
waited for
clapping. I'm like on the edge of my seat.
We were a little late, and he waited for us to not only get there, but go to the bathroom before he started the movie.
Yeah.
What a polite guy.
I felt awful about that, yeah. But, I mean, I'm on the edge of my seat during this thing, man. And I just saw a bad movie the day before it.
Okay.
And because we get sent all these screenings, and some are great, and some are really, really not. Especially in January, February, March.
And that's how it's going to be. But
well, especially in the early part of the year. That's not how it's going to be later. It's really bad right now. Yeah. And we saw one that I just didn't like. And I go to this, and I'm like, all right, but I'm really pumped for this. Because I've been trying to get you on the show. I'm like, really pumped. I'm like, this will make me feel better. We had a shitty day. I felt so good after this movie.
I know.
Man.
Thank you.
I came out and I just wanted to hit someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It worked then.
During the movie, I'm like, all right, I got to learn whatever this is so I can act in one of these things, like one of the, like the kicks or whatever, or the. I'm never going to.
Yeah, knife somebody like 8 times. I
could have played the old guy. I could have played like the old captain. I could hit someone with a chair. I could do that, or tear up a meth lab.
I could have played one of the SWAT guys that gets shot early on.
Very early. Yeah.
You know, I've got a cameo in it.
Do you
really?
Yeah. Wait. What part?
I'm in one of the CCTV camera on the monitor.
Oh, you're on the monitor.
Yeah. We have a cheeky little scene where I'm walking in the background of one of those shots.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, really?
I know one'll notice it.
No,
I was trying to figure out a way. How do I get into this film in some way and have a cameo? And I was thinking, there's no way I can kind of be in there properly.
Right.
So that was the cheat.
When the movie opens the way it opens between Iko and Iko.
Yeah, Iko. That's right.
And the boss.
Yeah.
Between their scenes balancing back and forth, you know you're in for something. You know you're in for a ride, man.
But you gave enough weight to the story, like it's about it's not just something strung together, and it's like there's acting all his conviction and all that. Like you cared about those things too. So has any Hollywood directors have seen this yet that have given you some great praise for it? Like Tarantino, I think he'd love this movie.
I'm not sure if he's seen it yet. I don't know if he's seen it yet.
I think he'd love it.
But I know I had a really cool comment from James Gunn. When he got in touch because he saw it, and it was really like, you know, that's a huge thing to get that from him. You know,
is cool.
Because I absolutely loved Super. Because I didn't get to see Super until quite late, but it played in like a film festival we have in Indonesia. We have a genre film festival every November.
Oh, wow.
And they screened Super there, and that was the first time I got to see it, and I fell in love with that film. It's so great.
And he loved it.
Yeah, he responded really nicely to it. It was great.
I think a lot of people are going to respond really nicely to it. It's a cool movie, man. I really dig it. So you're planning on making a sequel to actually it's going to be a sequel to Merantu.
To the Raid.
Or To the Raid, it'll be a sequel to the Raid.
Yeah, so we follow on.
So you have like your trilogy going here.
Yeah, we're trying to get. I'm thinking of an idea for a trilogy where there'll be a third part after the sequel to the Raid.
Oh wow!
But I only have very basic idea for where it's going to go. I don't have a full storyline for part 3 yet.
So do you get any of these crazy thoughts, even though you're doing these films in Indonesia, where you're like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if I got Iko and this guy, Tony, or Jackie, or Jet? Do I kick it up? Do I want to do that? Do you want to do something like that? That's something that's very tricky because you could lose your street cred if it's too studio-esque.
I think, you know what? I'm such a huge fan of Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
But I think if I ever was working with him in terms of as myself in a director's capacity, I think I'd be too starstruck. I think that would ruin me.
You might have to prepare for that.
I'd love to.
I'd like to see him play a bad guy.
I'd like to see him play a guy who's like a bad guy in a movie and doesn't have any fight. Just as a
I wanted to see him play the bad guy.
Menacing.
In this. Yeah. He would have been great. But the guy that's in it's great.
But I'd love to just sit and watch Jackie Chan make a film. I'd love to ghost him. And watch him shoot.
Talking with people the other day. I love even his newer stuff. I mean, this is like, I guess 10 years ago now, but New Police Story was great.
It's great.
Do you love it? How much do you love that scene where they're fighting in the Lego store?
Oh, it's so cool, right?
Isn't that the coolest thing?
Yeah.
And then there's another scene with the rubber duckies.
I love
that's cute, Jackie. That's
cute,
really
Jackie,
funny.
But
and then he
has
sings
an
the
edge
song
to it,
in the
though.
movie. Oh, it does. He's a drunk.
Like when the cops are sort of hanging up above and they get dropped. That's horrible.
Oh yeah, and then he's drunk at the beginning. You never see Jackie act like he is in it. And then he sings the theme song to the movie. Have you seen the music video?
Oh, I love watching. He does that a lot.
The music video's awesome.
Oh, really?
It's awesome.
I'm going to check it out.
In the mid-'90s, he just started singing in movies.
Yeah,
it was so weird, but
he
hilarious.
actually made a music video to this. But it's a 1990s Hollywood music video where you see Jackie doing the song and then clips of the movie and then back to Jackie in the studio.
Yeah.
He's all really into it.
And he can
so cool.
And he can kind of sing too.
Yeah. No, it's a cool song. It's cool. No, yeah, I love Jackie. So I just think, especially, it's a shame that Tony's in the position he's in now, Tony Jaa, where he doesn't want to do anything.
Well, he's on his way back now.
Oh, is he?
They're shooting.
I heard he went
crazy.
I heard he went crazy.
He did for a while, but they're doing the sequel to it now.
I love
and they're
that
shooting
movie.
Really? But they're shooting in 3D in Thailand right now. But because we did our post-production stuff out in Thailand.
Yeah.
3D Muay Thai.
When we went out there, they had this camera setup. So they had the two red cams set up to record stereoscopic 3D. And it looked like a hell of a setup, right? A hell of a rig. And they're going to do Steadicam shots with it, and they're going underwater and stuff like that. It sounds incredible.
I just heard. So what is the story? Since you're obviously closer to that area than we are, what's the story with Tony that you heard? Because all we hear back home here is he went crazy on Ong Bak 3, directing it. It was too much, and he snapped.
Yeah, I mean,
what's the real story?
We even in Indonesia, we wouldn't know either. That kind of thing. It would only be kind of kept internal with the company.
Wow.
So all we know is what you guys would know. Whatever you read is rumors on the internet, so you can't really say. But yeah, it's one of the things where whatever it is, it's kind of cool that he's back now and doing another film because he's such a talent.
I agree.
Yeah, he's great.
He's got such an ability as well. And for this new one, they are really rolling out all the stars. So it's not just Tony, but it's going to be Jija from Chocolate.
Wow.
And then also Dan Chupong is going to be in it as well. So the
have
guy
you
from
met
Born
Tony?
to Fight. Never met the guy.
You want to, though.
I'd love to, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Well, it's really about time that there was a martial arts star on that gigantic level. It's really hard to become a star in that genre anymore.
Sure.
And internationally huge.
Yeah.
And Tony Jaa is well known, but
I think for a long time though, martial arts kind of got almost swept aside.
Right.
It was only a cult thing.
Let me ask you about Screen Gems is planning a remake to The Raid. Is this true?
This is true.
Oh.
Okay, Pat Tobias, my crack produce team, Pat and Caesar, they told me Screen Gems is planning a American remake of The Raid. How? What's gonna? What do you know about it? Or are you just not in the loop?
I'm involved in an exec producer capacity.
Okay.
So I'll have a say in some decisions on it.
That's good.
But at the same time, my approach is to kind of step aside from certain aspects of it because I think whoever directs it should be given the same freedom and flexibility that I had on mine.
Right.
They should be kind of given the same room to come up with whatever creative ideas they have.
It's got to be someone that has that creativity that you've got, man, or else it's not going to. It's got to be someone that's got that crazy shit going. Because you got crazy shit going on in your head. You know that? When you got guys getting slammed into a wall 7 times on the way down.
Yeah. The worst part of that is all of that stuff that comes to me when it's about 2 a.m. and I'm trying to sleep and then all of a sudden I got to write that idea down.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are showing a lot of respect for the original as well because they're actually going to bring Iko and Yayan in to do the choreography with them as well.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Cool. There's going to be a CLAT element to the choreography
someone will teach Jason Statham how to do those moves.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you know who they're?
Cool though.
He's good. No, and he does do his own stunts. So
do you know who they're planning on making this movie with, or
no one announced yet in terms of cast and director, but they just announced the writer earlier. Who's
the writer? Anyone that we know? I don't. What else has he done?
He's on the. He was like he got blacklisted scripts and stuff like that. So he's kind of like up and up.
Here's the thing, though. Is he turning? How long was your script? 60 pages?
It was about 65.
If you turn in a 60-page script out here, they're going to think you're Looney Tunes.
They're like,
they're going to be like,
but that's the thing.
Cute. So this is the hour-long pilot,
right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like for me, it's one of those things whereby when you're doing a martial arts film, 1 page a minute does not apply anymore.
No.
Because like that final fight, that 6-minute final fight,
is like
about
2 pages,
2 paragraphs. Sometimes
2 paragraphs?
It's just you just describe. It gets aggressive. One of them dies. So that's it.
Well, do you? So you don't write out the turning points in a long fight scene in the script. It's like
certain parts, though. I'm sure.
A character gets his head slammed into the wall 9 times. The other character does a 2-foot flip off of the side wall. You don't write.
Not that detailed. What we do is it's usually like you put like the bullet points. So when it came to the scene with the knife and the stick fight in the hallway, like in the script for that, I gave a bit more detail than I would have normally because there was all these different elements. Like, okay, just to tell the stunt team and the fight team, that like. Okay, you've got a stick and a knife. Those are your weapons. Mm-hmm. You have a partner on your shoulder. He needs you in order to stay up on his feet. So whenever you get attacked from in front, from behind, from the sides, you have to shift his body so that he's safe away from the attacks, but at the same time, you have to keep him on his feet. So then that's like detail that they take through them, and then they fill in the blanks with how many punches, how many kicks. And then we just, I fill in a little bit more then to say, you put the guy down on the floor and then you carry on fighting freely. Mm-hmm. Then you lose your stick.
Wow.
Then you lose your knife.
Okay.
And it's just bullet points to the fight scene, basically.
Oh.
I gotta tell you, it smells like corn dogs in here.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're at the Coney Dog right here on 8873 West Sunset. And we're talking to Gareth Evans. And the Raid Redemption, which is in theaters March 23rd, is just a phenomenal film.
Yeah.
If you're an action fan, if you're a man at all, if you have like any bit of testosterone in your body, I think you'll love this film.
I know a few women who would be into this, too.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, they'd be keepers if they.
Yeah, I know.
He knows a lot of hairy women.
Yeah.
They got like back hair and armpit hair and
this tests high in the hair demographic. It's a good demographic to go after. Well, if you grew up like me, I mean, I watched all the Jackie Chan, the Bruce Lees, and then I started watching the Shaw Brothers stuff with the 36 Chambers. And the stuff with Gordon Liu and Donnie Yen, the original Iron Monkey, and all that stuff. And, like, I know way too much about that kind of stuff. And it's the kind of thing where I can imagine this being a really great DVD. Because when people look at my DVDs, they wonder why I don't have, like, I love On the Waterfront, but I would never buy that DVD because I can't watch it 1,000 times like I could the Raid. It's the kind of DVD that you could sell because you could watch it over and over again. And how they had people like, the RZA does a commentary track for 36 Chambers, and he goes into depth about the fighting style, and he knows a lot about it. This could be a kind of a fun DVD on that because you have a lot of fan bases for this around the world.
So I think the question Lee's trying to get to
is, can you get the RZA?
What's going to be the DVD? What kind of special features you got to do for this? For the Blu-ray?
I mean, like one of the things we did for the film was that we put together a bunch of behind-the-scenes vlogs. So we had like a behind-the-scenes team filming us the entire way through the shoot.
That's cool.
And including pre-production too. So we have
a little bit the fights behind the scenes?
Yeah, we have a little bit of the sort of, the storyboard version of the fight-ins. We see how we design the fights. But then also that we sent the guys off to do boot camp training as well. So we sent them to like the Indonesian Navy SEALs, which is called Kopaska. And then they did like sort of like a 10-day boot camp with them where they got to learn how to handle weapons and do like raid simulations and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a great
I'm looking forward to it. That's gonna be wild.
We've been putting those online actually as well. So like the blogs go out every Friday basically before the release.
And those are on the Redemption website.
We tend to kind of have them as exclusives at different websites and stuff every week. So,
very cool.
How long was the shoot?
The shoot was about 72 days. It was a long time, but I mean that's because the martial arts takes so long to shoot them as well.
Was there any injuries?
Unfortunately, we had a few, yeah.
A few?
We try to kind of, like, when we design, like, the stunt work, we try to make it look a lot worse than it actually is. Like, so when the audience are watching it, they feel like these people are getting so hurt, but then they don't see all the protective stuff around that's not on camera, But the worst the worst injury was probably the guy that got flipped over the atrium and then breaks his back on the stand.
Yeah.
Oh, he broke his back?
Well, the way we did it was 3 different shots, so we stitched together.
Oh,
but
man.
on one of them, when he's supposed to land, like flip all the way over and land onto crash mats, he had to be on a wire to control his path of his fall. And the guys pulling the wire pulled a little bit too hard. So instead of him falling down nicely on an arc, he just went straight across, smashed the back of his head into a wall, and then the wire slipped out of their hands. Then he dropped down 5 meters onto concrete.
Oh. He's all right now?
Hold on. Yeah, no, he's fine.
Yeah. He's good.
He woke up after about 10 minutes, and we had like a paramedics and an ambulance crew on standby, and we took him to hospital. And then 4 days later, he came back, and we shot it, and then we got it. Then.
So remember when I said I wanted to be in one of your movies?
Yeah.
It's a great flick.
We have an opening for a new stunt guy as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's an opening.
Pretty broke.
You got to work in this town. You got to pay your dues.
I need a job.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I know you got to get going. I know you got other engagements, other publicity you got to do for this. I'm really glad you stopped by. My last question for you is, we have a lot of people like myself who want to write or act or whatever. What is your best advice to give to people that want to do what you're doing or be involved in things that you're doing, anything like that?
You know what? It's such a bizarre thing because of the way that my career has gone. It's kind of unusual because I never ever planned to make martial arts films. It just kind of happened for me. But like the one thing that I felt like I learned the most from was the fact that I had that kind of freedom and flexibility at the start to just go off and experiment and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I made a ton of short films that I never got around to finishing or I never got around to sort of, releasing in any way. But they were all learning curves. And just go out and shoot stuff and just never stop shooting stuff. Make it the passion that, that it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing, that you're kind of always thinking about how you want to make that next film, how you're going to make that next short film. And, like when we were in university, I twisted every single, piece of coursework I had into a video assignment.
Yeah.
So, it was like, we had to do something, and I'd be like, I'm going to shoot a fake trailer for a film. And then, by doing that, I learned a lot of tricks and techniques on a low-budget level that we ended up using in the raid.
Yeah.
So all of those little tricks you pick up along the way, they're in your mind, and you got them.
On our last episode, I was telling people I just did this short with Burt Binder, who's Mike Binder's son, the director-writer, and he got to do it for coursework too. And, and I did that when I was growing up. You always try to con people, and I don't want to read Dracula. I'll film it. I'll make it, and I totally agree with that, and I think it's very cool, man. Gareth, you are nothing but a pleasure. I could talk to you all day about movies and bullshit and whatever. And
thank you for having me out here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. The Raid Redemption is in theaters March 23rd, and do you know how many theaters it's going to be in? Is it going to be around the country, or?
I don't know yet. I think we start limited.
Okay.
In a couple of cities like New York, LA, I think Chicago and Washington.
Please, Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago, I think as well. Yeah. And so, and then maybe the second weekend, if everything goes well, hopefully we can expand out.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's a movie that deserves expanding.
Thank you very much.
It's awesome, man. I wish you the best of luck on anything in the future, and anytime you want to do the show, more than welcome.
Absolutely. Cheers. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gareth.
Thanks.